English Listening Test. Part 4. Designed for B1 learners. This test consists of 20 questions which are divided into 4 parts. I will give you a short instruction at the beginning of each part. Before we get started, take a pen and paper so you can take notes while listening. Are you ready? Let's get started. Part 1. Listen to Bella's funny story and be ready to complete the sentences.
A funny thing happened to me yesterday after work. I was really hungry and I didn't feel like making dinner, so I went to a fast food place near my office building. I got a grilled cheese sandwich, some fries, and a soda. The restaurant was really crowded, so I had to share a table. I sat down with my tray across from a middle-aged guy. I said, "Hi, is this seat free?" He nodded and smiled, but he didn't say anything. He seemed pretty nice. Anyway, I got out a magazine and started eating my sandwich. It was a really interesting article and I couldn't stop reading it. But then I saw the guy take one of my fries. I couldn't believe it, but I was too embarrassed to say anything. Then he took another one, and I still didn't say anything. Then I thought, those are my fries. So I took a handful and ate them. The guy looked at me in a funny way, but he didn't say anything. Then he did it again and ate another one of my fries. It was really strange. After a while, the guy got up and left with his tray. That's when I realized the fries were on his tray. And my fries, they were under my magazine. I felt so embarrassed that I immediately went out to find him on the street and confessed my mistake. Instead of getting mad, he chuckled and confirmed that I had indeed eaten his fries. I offered to buy him some more fries, and he accepted, saying that he was still a bit hungry.
Choose the correct option. Part 2. Listen to 5 people talking about a dream they had. Match the speakers with what they think their dream means. Use the letters only once. There are 2 extra letters which you don't need to use. Speaker 1.
As I opened my eyes this morning, a sense of unease washed over me. In my vivid dream, I found myself playing tennis, but to my dismay, I was unable to move my legs. The inability to make any movements left me helpless, and I couldn't hit the ball back. This experience has left me feeling quite uneasy, especially since I have an important match this afternoon. The dream has made me apprehensive about my chances of winning, and I'm not feeling very positive about the outcome of the match.
Speaker 2.
Last night, I had an amazing dream. I am a pianist, and in the dream, I was recording a blues album with some incredibly talented musicians. It felt like a sign that I might become a famous musician someday, but the reality is, it's unlikely to happen. Nevertheless, it's always fun to dream big.
Speaker 3.
Last week, I had a dream that I lost my job, which made me feel anxious and afraid. In the dream, I didn't have enough money to pay for basic necessities like food and had to ask strangers for money. This dream made me worry about the possibility of becoming poor in real life. However, I am determined to work hard and ensure that I am financially stable so that my dream doesn't come true.
Speaker 4.
Last night, I had a nightmare that was quite different from my usually pleasant dreams. In the dream, I was driving through a freezing cold night, and to my horror, I couldn't stop the car. The experience left me feeling frightened and uneasy. I am scheduled to take my driving test next week, and I can't help but think that my dream is an ominous sign that I may fail the test.
Speaker 5.
As I reminisce about last week, I recall having an intriguing dream that left me feeling overjoyed. In the dream, I was in a blissful relationship with a wonderful guy who went out of his way to buy me a bouquet of flowers. The atmosphere was serene, and the sound of a melodious violin playing in the background added to the ambience. The experience was surreal, and I couldn't believe how perfect everything felt. This dream was unique, as I've never had such a vivid and remarkable dream before. I am convinced that this dream is a premonition of the great love that awaits me, and I'm excited to see how things unfold.
Choose the correct option. Part 3. Listen to the conversation between two old friends and be ready to complete the sentences.
Peter, is that you?
Jasmine, hello.
Well, well. Peter Brown, how have you been?
Good. Great, actually. How are you? I haven't seen you for how long?
It's been ages. At least 13 years. Wow.
Yeah, wow. So, what are you doing here? I thought you'd moved to New York.
I was in New York for a couple of years, but it didn't work out.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Are you okay?
Yeah, everything's cool. That dream job I landed wasn't really all that great, you know. And as for New York City, it's awesome, but so damn expensive. Like, just renting a place there is insane.
I see.
So, I came back. I've been back now for almost 5 months. Living back home with Mum and Dad, which is interesting. But anyway, what about you?
Me? Oh, nothing new. You know me, Peter the Predictable. I never left here. I'm married now. We've just celebrated our 9th anniversary.
No way. You got married? Too?
I don't think you know her. Her name's Miranda, and we've got 2 kids, Melissa and Michael. They're 5 and 8 years old.
Married and with 2 kids? Wow.
Don't look so surprised.
No. I'm just amazed how time flies. I'm happy for you. I really am.
Thanks. You should really come round to the house one day.
That would be great. Let's swap numbers and...
Choose the correct option. Part 4. Listen to David talking about the world's coolest marathon and be ready to complete the sentences.
Participating in a marathon requires an immense amount of strength and energy. Just try to imagine what it would be like to run a marathon at the North Pole. The North Pole Marathon is considered one of the world's toughest races. Runners from all over the world compete to run a distance of 26.2 miles across the freezing ice and snow in temperatures that can drop to as low as minus 32 degrees Celsius. The marathon was organized by Richard Donovan, who was the winner of the world's first South Pole Marathon in Antarctica in 2002. People call the North Pole Marathon the world's coolest marathon. Richard Donovan completed many marathons himself, such as the Everest Challenge Marathon, the Himalayan 100-mile stage, and the Trans 333 across the Sahara Desert. Before he started the North Pole Marathon in 2003, Donovan ran across the North Pole to see if a marathon was even possible. At the time, he was the first person to complete marathons on both of the Earth's poles. At the first North Pole Marathon, there were only 10 runners. But each year, more and more people joined the race. In 2011, there were more than 50 runners from all over the world in the race. The race doesn't take place on land. The runners race on the ice of the Arctic Ocean. The ice is 6 to 12 meters deep. The ice is always moving. Runners must wear heavy clothing because of the cold, which makes running very difficult. It takes much longer to complete the marathon than other marathons. If you're interested in participating in the North Pole Marathon, there are a few things you should consider first. The marathon is open to anyone, but it's important to ask yourself a few questions before you commit. Do you enjoy running? Are you healthy enough to handle the physical demands of running a marathon in extreme cold? And most importantly, do you like the cold? If you answer yes to all of these questions, then the North Pole Marathon might be the perfect challenge for you.
Choose the correct option. Don't forget to share your score in the comments section. If you haven't taken our previous listening tests, the playlist link is in the description below. For more valuable content, subscribe to our channel and turn on the notifications. See you in our upcoming videos.